Szewczaks. It's me, Maja Szewczak. I cannot believe we're in 2025. Speaking of the year 2025, that's just started 5 days ago. I've decided to do the first idea Sunday with that giant lychee fruit that I have got because the size with Nicholas Mellow is really overwhelmingly large. I'll let you have that laugh with Nicholas Mellow with the size of this. There. Imagine that you are the Nicholas Mellow here and you're holding this lychee. And in this episode, we're going to try to use it. The first thing I did, I tried to pull that out of the lychee, and it was successful. I was going to try it with these scissors, but this did the job. These scissors are so good, the tiny ones, not just the sequins, but the carvings that I do. Although they were cheap from the pharmacy, they're really tiny and they seem to work their purpose into carving off my fruit from Temu. Don't know how is that even possible that these scissors just do me. Okay, I did try to hollow it out, but I've decided to just stop here. This is very sharp, so do be extra careful if you're doing this. But that's what I've managed to scratch off, which I decided it's okay, because I will be making a countertop lychee furniture piece out of this. Okay. I'm going to clean the residue and then start turning it into a cupboard countertop. It's hollow enough. And besides, it's impossible to completely hollow it out. Although I did try, I did not enjoy doing that and it was really sharp, so I'm not going to do that again on that type of plastic. But at least it was good to learn for my future projects. Okay, time to do the countertop. Okay, I'm going to use a homemade hook for this because I'll be adding a door to it. And then here I'll add in the shelves as soon as I figure out the door for this. So So I'll stitch the hook to the fabric and then glue it on. Done. Time to glue it in like this. I just need my glue. And we're going to glue it in before installing the door to it. Glue added. Now it's time to insert this into it. Okay, that needs to dry. I have to glue the insert again. And while the glue is drying, I think I'm going to start making the door for it. Out of plastic, I've made a base for the door. And I made this for the hook to go in. When it dries, now it's the time to work on the door. I have these flower stickers that I will put all over the door. I'm going to use these flowers. That's about it, but it will have to get glued on, and I'm going to make that blended with more of these. That feels blended in. However, there's lots of glue going on. And I'm thinking of doing something about it. I'm going to use Pearl Scent acrylic paint ice white that just makes it pearly. So I'm going to put it inside the Lychee to not waste any glue. And there's still glue there, so I'm going to just add a drop of this to make this effect. Squeeze it out of the bottle and I mix. That blob of acrylic paint needs to be worked on, so I'm going to add the pearly effects to the floor of this room because I have added a bit too much of it and I want to tone that down a bit. So I'm taking the paint out of it. A bit, and then I'm just waterly adding it in, adding the pearly effects in. Okay, that needs to dry. Glued and painted. Time to let it dry. Okay, the cupboard and the door have dried. The door has stickers peeling off. And there's some unevenness in this. area which I'm going to patch up with pieces of cabochons that I have cut and buttons. It will get it into the Lychee shape and get this to be evenly filled up this area. We're going to glue them in to make it look the way I want. That's added in. It will need red markers once this dries. But still, it's blending into the Lychee texture-wise. After the Lychee has dried, I have used coral red and orange markers to get this to be blending in. It is blending in, but there is a transition somewhere in it. But I can deal with it. After that dried, I have filled up the Lychee even more. But this purple and the pink will have to be colored and colored with red to match the Lychee when it dries. So that's a thing to be considered, but at least the Lychee is taller. Okay, after that dried, I've stitched on the press stud and it opens and closes just like a dream come true. Now I just need to get this the same color as the Lychee. Although I used rose red, it's still purple, but I'll figure it out later. And the bead fell out, but I can always just glue that into it. Let's just glue it in. And yes, that needs to dry. And I'll close this for now. And whenever I try to look into it, this hole has came out of it. I'll have to think of something for the hole as well as this area here. I cannot believe how much twists and turns this project is taking. I've got a hole in there which makes me think of something to figure out. Each moment of this project is giving me something to figure out. And if you do it yourself, you would understand what I mean. But if you follow it out, if you do not like sanding or scraping things, you will absolutely not like following out this Lychee. And to be honest, I did not enjoy following out the Lychee, but it gave me an opportunity to make a countertop. whether I enjoyed it or not, but I didn't enjoy following it out, but I enjoyed the other parts, just not following it out, although I did try it. It was not enjoyable, and I decided to never do that to another one of those lychees again. However, this video had me doing this. So, oops, I accidentally got a sequin on it. That wasn't supposed to be part of it. If I ever use another one of these lychees, it will not be a cupboard again. And besides, Idea Sunday is about trying new things. And that's a cool definition of it. So, it's not finished yet, but the lychee, because of the part that I took out of it, became a taller version of the lychee. The lychee is egg-shaped for some reason. Let me show you. That's an untouched one, and that's one that I'm using. And the untouched one is more orangey in color. Just for a little comparison. And it's taller, it's more egg-shaped because it just came out this way. And it's red because of all the modifications I did to it. I've used the red markers to do all of these modifications. But at least you know. Although this isn't finished, and there's still a lot to figure out for this. Just wanted to share some of the thoughts about this project while I have them and the project with me. So, I do quite like where it's going. So, but closed it looks like a post box. However, the post box isn't intended, but it does look like it. I also need to think about this post box look while closed. So, things to consider. I have bad news. The press stud fell off the lychee, but the good news is I can always just glue it in with some lychee beading done on it on a piece of fabric. I'm just going to glue it in to fix it. And we're going to let it dry, hoping it will be more stable when it dries. Glued in, I'll have to add more beads to smoothen out the shape of the lychee itself. Okay, before I can try to close it, I'll have to let it dry. Okay, so I have fixed the press stud. It can open and close just like that. However, should I keep the purplish pink effects in the Lychee? I do like them. However, I'm debating, should I make this Lychee fully red or have these pink effects in it that come from the purple base of the beads? Because I like it, but that's not really that realistic. Although it does rather feel unique, and these colors kind of don't match to that red. But I can just decide on that. But I have fixed the press stud, and it's stable on it and it blends in. That was the most important part for now. Use some red velvet fabric to hide the mechanism, because when it was visible it was giving post box, which wasn't what I wanted, and since now that's hidden, it just looks like a Lychee. A Lychee cupboard now, and it functions like it's supposed to, but the wire's hidden better. So that's what I had to report on about it. This room, I've been doing the floor and the walls. There's still some black on the walls. That's probably going to mark where the upper countertops are going to be. And I'm kind of still debating, should I put it here or there? Oh, there's a piece of floor not done. I'm still thinking of how to work it out. I kind of want to be able to rearrange the rooms. However, this floor is for the kitchen part of the room, while the living room part of the room would be where the carpet is. So I do know it's going in the kitchen. However, there's a hole in there, and if I put the wire through it, let me show you. You can actually use that hole and insert the wire, and look at what it's doing. Wow, that gives ideas for this project. Already turning things up to 100. However, how do I make it intentional? Maybe make a fake light bulb, unless I can always edit the light bulb for it to work in a stop motion animation. So let me get a translucent bead to put in there. I thought of this while thinking about the hole. So I'm going to do it. There's already a lot of red, so I want this to be a calmer color, or a color that could complement the intense red, or something like this. I do have my translucent Monday box. If you hear the sounds, that's me looking through potential options. And it has to be the right size, so that's what is there to be considered. But the colors for the light bulb, I'm thinking either pink or green. Something to complement the red. But I'll see what option I like the most. So my thinking about the light bulb, pink or green. But anyways, let me just do a deeper dive into my things to see what pink or green beads I have that are translucent and small enough for a light bulb. That's my selection. Lots of bright pinks and reds, so I think the green, that pop of green in that pink and red background would be the answer. Just to break the ocean of pink and red everywhere. Although they're two of my favorite colors, but the green just adds something that makes it all stand out. The greens would stand out against all the pink and red, so I'm going with green. And I'll use this green bead with a gold imprint flower in it. So that's the green bead I'm using for the light bulb, and it looks the most fitting shape of a light bulb for the cupboard anyways. So this one I've chosen. With the chosen light bulb, I'm going to use that bead. I'm going to now twist the wire to get the light bulb in. I don't want it to be too long in there, so want that type of look, so there would be some twisting of the wire and I need to trim it. That's better. Now I twist until you get something like this and in goes the excess. I had to open the button which was glued on to get this done. But I will re-glue it back once. This is done. Yay! Managed to do it! Now here we have to pull. That's to secure it. And get that in here. And fix the button. However, there is still this. Let's fix it. Let's now rebend it, but with one major difference. No button glued on until it's done. Okay. Good to know. Learning. Anyways, let's push this into it. That's better. And no messy knots. Now let's install the button. Finally install it back into it. Had to unbend the wire because of the full size of the button there is. But now it's the finally time to assemble this part of it. Okay, now bend the wire here. Like this. This is however spinning. Do you see that? And it's propelled by the light bulb. Don't know what is going on, to be honest, with my choices that I make for this cupboard or whatever I'm making. But I do have a direction of where it's going to. But the tiny details just entertain me to the point that the video is getting long. What about a hanging cupboard? I thought because I still had the wire thing and I still hadn't glued this. I'll think about it, but first I'll glue on the button after I re-glued the button. I had to glue some Lychee gems to the area. This will secure it in place and not waste a drop of glue. And this is what it's looking like. The Pearl Effects paint is making the lychee inside a little bit pink. So I'm going to apply more of that paint into it to bring out some pink sparkle, like more of it. Just going to move that light bulb a bit. Will still be in there, but I'm just going to use this. It shines pink, so going to use it. Done. Time to let it dry. Pearly effects. Dried, and after that I apply the plastic shelf to the cupboard. I will have to let it dry before I can paint it, but this is where I am, so I'm reporting on it. The shelf dried. I'm going to add a bit more of the flower stickers to it, as well as the pearly effects, so it matches the whole interior, and the flowers will be added to the back, so the surface that's visible would be smooth, just like the rest of the interior. And I've made the wire into a stem of the fruit. This made the shelf more visible, and here I will fill up with a bead. After I glued in the flower, so I'm going to use this to hide the under layer of this. So I'm going to glue that rhinestone there. There. It's a brighter red than the rest of the lychee, and the lychee seems to be a deeper red. But I can always make this blend in after it dries. Painted the shelf that pearly effect, and deepened the red of the rhinestone that needs to dry. How many times things needed drying in this episode, to be honest? But what about this here? Okay, the cupboard. What can we put in here? I'm trying this can that I've made for the Idea Sunday for 16th of June 2024. And I can put it in there. But can I remove it? I know it's meant to be a canned lychee episode. And I can put it in here and I can remove it. Oh, good. But I will have to use that pointy tool in order to put it in and remove it from the cupboard. But I'm going to store it outside the cupboard. But if I want to do scenes like those, taking it out of the cupboard, then I'm going to only put things in there for stop motion animations and photos. Only if I'm doing photos or stop motion animations, I'm going to do that, not for storing it in. But it was good to try how functional it is, as well as be honest about it. But anyways, let's get some velvet fabric to this part of the lychee. I'm going to also color it brown to make it wooden. Finally, hidden wire. I can now finish the lychee, but this thread needs to be hidden before the lychee. Things get added, and I need a brown marker to color it the color of the tree bark, the lychee tree bark. That's better. Okay, that's that done. Now think about how I'm going to finish this area and make this area look better. I glued on beads to finish the lychee around the stem. Now it really looks like lychee. All we have left is just the door. To do the door, I had to make more countertops for the kitchen because I want the door to be matching with the other countertops. However, this video is mostly focused on that lychee. I've used the smaller lychees that I have ordered to do the rest of the countertops. However, I will not explain how I've made the rest of the set. First of all, the video would be at least 3 or 4 hours long if I did explain it to you. Second of all, it will take away from the focus on this one. And last, it will just make this one the smaller part of the video, although this was a big part of the video if I explained it all. So I will not explain the process, but I will show you the other countertops I've made. And the reason for me justifying this, to figure something out for this door. Hello, Szewczaks. It's me, Maja Szewczak. And welcome to Brainstorm with Maja Szewczak. It's different because instead of drawings, I'll be showing you dollhouse items of the Lychee kitchen cupboards. This one is called Lychee Light Drop. Decided to come up with Lychee Light Drop for this focus of the episode, and that's due to the fact that it has a light bulb inside. But anyways, let me show you the other cupboards I've made. Enjoy! This is called Lychee Fresh Sink Cupboard. It's a sink and a cupboard. The door works as well as this. You can spin it like a real sink, although the sink doesn't really work. But I can always just edit in the sink feature of this. But there, this can spin like a real sink. So, that's one of the pieces I've made. I've been doing pictures inside doors, and then plastic, and then metallic detailing, and I wanted at least some of the kitchen to have that. And here we have a Lychee Cuban ice cream cone freezer. So it's a freezer, but it doesn't really freeze, but it can be a freezer for the dollhouse. Both the cube and the cone are freezer parts, and they open and close, and together they look like an ice cream. That one's stitched on the wall, so it's permanently fixed into the wall. The reason why I left some of the walls black is for the black is actually for the cupboards and pieces that are going to be fixed on the walls. So that's why. And here I'll have to use glitter to make this part of the wall match. However, let's just focus on other cupboards I've made for this kitchen. Glitter filled in, and I've added a teddy bear cupboard that's like a combination of teddy bear, kitchen cupboard, and lychee fruit all in one. It's called Lychee Cuddly Soft Spot, so it will be for the dollhouse kitchen towels and baking gloves that will be added to the kitchen in another video. To keep the faux fur fabric soft, I had to just stitch it onto the plastic. Then all the beads I colored red, so with a red marker, so that's why I've got red marker all over my fingers. It's nothing, it's just marker. So here we have it. The teddy bear or Lychee cuddly soft spot. And I bet Nicholas Mellow's Lychee would love to sleep here. I was coming up with ideas for the Lychee kitchen. And for the Lychee light drop, I've decided to combine my favorite elements from all the others. And because here is red already, I've decided to put Brina Sparkles on Lychee light drop. And Brina Sparkles will be wearing a pink dress that shares some elements of Lychee cuddly soft spot cupboard that looks like a teddy bear. Let's do it. Come on, Lychee light drop. You need work to be done. Look at all these pink faux fur enticing leftovers. We're going to mark an area where I'm going to put Brina Sparkles dress on the cupboard, and yes, I will use them. So I've marked it with a ball pen, and now it's time to glue it on. I want them to stay as soft as they are, so I will just glue bit by bit individually. So let me just get the glue drop on it, and now it's time to apply it. Apply the hairs. They're too long, so I need to trim them. Because I want the dress to look like a teddy bear in a way, but not a very, very, very hairy teddy bear, but a normal teddy bear. Especially on the scale that I'm doing this. So I will also have to cut parts of it, of the faux fur, when it dries anyways, because it's anyways too long. So things to be considered. So I'm going to glue it on. Good thing I'm reusing the faux furs hairs that I have just kept for this. That's a reason to keep them. Not only you're not wasting materials, but you're also making other parts of the project work better if you're doing this. So that's why I keep them in somewhere where I can reuse them. So I'm applying them bit by bit. Because I absolutely love the idea from my Lychee cuddly soft cupboard that I've made, although I've only made it for the brainstorm with Maja Szewczak segment, but still. Take that from what you will. So apply that last tiny bit to it, and we have to let it dry. The faux fur has dried. What in the universe have I made? Nice. No need to be that dramatic. Just trim it to make it look like a normal teddy bear dress. I thought it was looked really weird like that, so that's why I kind of acted and reacted to the way it looked after it dries. I've trimmed it way down, but thankfully the soft touch is still there. It still feels soft to the touch. Some of it is hard, but I'll just trim it off. And I still have to make a transition zone from the faux fur to the cupboard, which also requires trimming the heart out of it. There, that's it looking better. Still feels soft to the touch. That's good. Although at the start I was just, I don't know what to say, felt about how it looked, and now it looks better. All the fun and joys of doing Idea Sunday, I guess. After the faux fur has dried, I've applied red acrylic paint for Brina Sparkles koala part. I had some dried up acrylic paint in the bottle. I can still use acrylic paint, but the dried up bits from it I've glued onto it. It hasn't dried yet, so let's now glue in the eyes and nose. So there's the koala nose because we're doing koala. Now, let's get the eyes in now. So we need to get them in. time to let it dry before getting the black bow onto it. After all these red acrylic paint chunks have dried, I added a knife to bring the sparkles. For the black bows on her dress, I've also decided to add some black details like bows on her ear as well as some of the details. But before I add them in, I want to add some red glitter on the koala. Some red glitter glue to add a bit of sparkles to bring the sparkles, because I've decided to do that because Brina Sparkles is the Lychee Mallow koala, and I wanted to reference that at least once in it. So that's why I'm doing it. And now I'm going to let it dry and come up with something for the black bows that I'm about to give Brina Sparkles. While the glitter glue is drying, I've just used some black wool and took out one thread from it and made a bow like this and glued it onto Brina Sparkles. I'm also going to do that to the dress as well as the ear. That's how it was supposed to look. Time to let it dry and call it finished. So Szewczaks, that's the finished product of Lychee Light Drop cupboard in the kitchen countertops. It opens and closes, and it's got Brina Sparkles in it. So please tell me what you think of this Lychee and the cupboard feature. But anyways, bye Szewczak, see you in another video, bye.